Today's market movements, James Gerrish joining us from Shaw and Partners. James, good morning to you. So, market's just a little directionless at the moment. I guess investors looking for some key data, and we're certainly going to get that tonight in the States.
Yeah, morning to you, Andrew. Yeah, there is a bit of ebb and flow action happening across the equity landscape at the moment. Just to put that into context, the S&P 500's hasn't made a new high for 27 days. So that is the longest time for the last 11 months. So we are starting to see a little bit of indecision around the market at the moment. Obviously, the push and pull factors around rising inflation. We've got the China situation playing out in their property market there, and obviously coming into US reporting season. That's always a point to, I guess, stop and take stock of where we're at.
All right. Now, locally, we do have some detail. BOQ, Bank of Queensland, out with results this morning. How are you looking at that stock? And I guess the financials more generally at the moment?
Yeah, it's full year results from Bank of Queensland this morning. So just in terms of their cash profit, they came in above expectations. So the market was looking for 400 million. They printed 412 million, which is obviously a positive, about a 3% beat. The dividend, 22 cents, was in line with expectations. A few things that caught my eye around this result is sort of the home loan lending volumes, which were 1.7 times system, which is really strong. Cost growth was up a bit, 3%. And that, I guess, is the main thing that you need to consider around regional banks. So, there's been a call for a long time for regional banks to consolidate. And I think, the trends that we're seeing in BOQ today sort of amplify that. Suggest that should take place. Costs in these businesses are going up, compliance and the like, technology and systems and the like. So some sort of consolidation would be key. But look, it was a good result today from Bank of Queensland, Andrew. It's trading at, the sector is trading at 1.4 times book. Bank of Queensland is trading at 1 times book. So it's cheap relative to the sector, and it should do okay today, BOQ.
All right, that's taking a look at BOQ financials in general. Sector-wise, energy, of course, James, running hot at the moment, particularly given where the oil, gas, coal prices are going. So you're seeing some opportunity there?
Yeah, it's absolutely been hot, Andrew, and there's supply side issues that are causing upward pressure on some of these these energy inputs. You've also got a few other commodities that are experiencing the same thing. So we continue to like the energy space. I know it's run hard, and I know one of the biggest remedies to high prices is high prices themselves. It obviously incentivizes new production to come online. But in some of these energy areas, it's not that easy to bring on new production in a short amount of time. So that's what, in our view, the prices will remain elevated. So we hold Santos in our portfolios. That's our that's a key pick that we've got in our portfolios. Whitehaven Coal is we've got a big overweight in Whitehaven Coal, and think that's going to continue to run. The uranium space is interesting. It's pulled back in recent times, uranium prices, and it's dragged some of the uranium companies down with it after a pretty good run. But I think now looks like a pretty good risk reward period to go in there and look at those uranium companies. Paladin's obviously your biggest one on the ASX that we quite like.
Okay, and just as far as commodities are concerned at the moment, it's all looking a little wobbly, of course, particularly given what's going on in China at the moment. How are you seeing that sector?
Yeah, I think it depends where you look at, Andrew. So, things that are exposed to Chinese growth, so, linked to property market, which has been a really big support of Chinese growth over the last decade or so. So iron ore has been soft, but it is bouncing. So those bulk commodities we're a little bit more cautious on, but some of these more peripheral commodities, uranium I may mention of, but aluminium is trading at decade-long highs. That looks good. So we've got positions in alumina. I mentioned Whitehaven Coal before. Coronado is another one. CRN is another one to look at in the coal space. So I think you've got and of course lithium is an interesting one, and nickel is sort of two future-facing commodities. Western Areas is in a is in a corporate tussle with Independence Group at the moment. So, look, there's a lot happening in the commodity markets. I think if you look at the traditional iron ore, copper, and the like, there's not as much going on there. But some of these peripheral commodities are really hot at the moment, and I think they're going to continue to remain hot for the foreseeable future.
Now, James, just before we go, we have been running a series on AusBiz of future fund stocks. Now, this is all about picking a stock now and sitting on it, holding it perhaps in the interests of your kids or maybe even your grandkids. I gather you do have one in mind.
Yeah, I've got two very expensive daughters, so
tell me about it.
The stock needs to do pretty well. So while I'd go out there and probably diversify into a portfolio, I've got their school fees, pending school fees into the market matters SMAs. But if I was picking one stock out of that, Hub 24's probably the one I'd pick, HUB. On simple numbers, if they meet our forecast, we've got them doing funds under administration by FY24 of 100 billion. If they achieve that and they retain the same multiple that they're trading on now, they'll have an enterprise value of about 5 billion, which puts it about 2 times where they're trading at the moment. So the doubling of the share price in a couple of years. So that would be the pick that I would go with for that sort of time frame.
James, good one. I sympathise. Good luck with your girls. See you later.
They're the best. Go on.